Senator Paul.
You know, the discussion of addiction reminded me of coming to your place, Dan, and in a small group, several of them saying, "Oh yes, I'm in Narcotics Anonymous," and somebody saying, "I'm somebody's sponsor." And you mentioned also that they actually meet, and that part of that's part of employment or after hours. They do meet there.
A lot of times, and we allow them, you know, if they have a bad day or something, they can leave early and go make a meeting and come back or whatever. So it works out real well. We've got a second shift supervisor that sponsors the entire crew under him, and he's done a great job. Been there for 8 years. Yeah.
No, and I think that's sort of one thing, me learning from listening to you and listening to Rob and others, is that, you know, everybody deserves a second chance, but not everybody's going to take the second chance. You have to be doing something. I mean, you know, not every alcoholic's going to be a great employee. Not every heroin addict's going to be a great employee. They have to be wanting to try to recover. And so being in some kind of program was what, you know, Rob was saying, that require them to be a program. And I like the idea of the contract. It reminded me of, I was visiting one of the KIP charter schools down in Nashville, and the young girl was just like, you know, brilliant and going on to all these great places. She's probably already graduated from college by now, but part of what they told me is they had a contract, and the parents sat down, and they, for the children at least, they were responsible that the child was going to bring his homework in. And for, you know, a child, you can see that, but somehow accepting that responsibility through the contract, which leads to a loyalty, but it has to be this two-way street, and you got to, you know, I don't know, but I'm amazed how many people want to try to get the second chance. When we first did expungement in Louisville, a attorney gave like $300,000 to help with the fees for it, and 1,000 people showed up. And to me, that didn't show that everybody wants their record expunged. Not everybody wants a second chance, but 1,000 people did. And you've selected out for the people who are no longer a drug dealer. Why get your record expunged if you're a drug dealer? They want legitimate jobs, and 1,000 people showed up. So I think there is great hope and great momentum going forward with this. And the one thing that we will try to work on is looking at the federal employment to see if there are any impediments to federal employment. But then also, I think that I'll bet you there's some group may have started this, but I want to look in to see if there's some way of having a posting for employers, maybe not even just a job, but an employer that's friendly towards hiring people with a second chance. And it may be that it'd be a national posting. You have to go somewhere else if you're an engineer or nurse. But I'll bet you something like that might be of value, because here it's by word of mouth. People know you can go to Caudill Seed. People know about your restaurant. So anyway, there might be some way of facilitating. It might not have anything to do with government, but it might be a way of facilitating the knowledge of who these employers are. But thank you all for your testimony, and thank you, Mr. Chairman, for doing this.
Thank you, Senator Paul. Senator Booker, anything further?
No, sir, but I would look forward to following up and seeing if we can think of some things we can work on together to make it easier to access loans. I think the idea about the doing something maybe with this committee, I don't know how unprecedented it would be, but also with the Bureau of Prisons to talk about something that we could try to do together, or a pilot program. Because I know just from my own personal experience, the differences between those prisons in New Jersey that have those programs that open people up to basic financial literacy, resume writing on computers, the difference you give in people coming out is pretty extraordinary. And